Hello everyone, Clive here, and welcome back to Ark Aberration. And as you saw, a lot's happened in between episodes. Got some tames and did a little bit of building. And the tames will primarily help me gather the resources to build this thing. And it did take a while to build, so I did spend probably like 7 in-game days doing this. And the goal was just to build it and then be done. I don't want to build any more after that, at least not a full base. But yeah, I actually didn't finish it yet. I have to finish up the roofs. So yeah, this is it. This is the base, and this is where we're going to be living at. So I tried to make 2 levels, and I also made the gates flush with the rest of the wall. But I will replace some of the gates with a behemoth gate eventually. And overall, this is going to be pretty secure. Nothing's going to get in here from this side at least. And I was kind of getting burnt out on building it, so that's why I had to stop. But I do have a few more plans. I do want to connect the walkway that I'm on with one of these trees over here. And we'll put a platform on one of the trees, and then we'll connect to that, and then I'll have a ramp going down to the bottom. And we'll just park the gliders up there. That's really the purpose of that. But yeah, that's future plans, and we'll get to that at some point. Alright, so the base is still a work in progress. Well, let's look at the tames now. I figured these tames wouldn't be that important to show. They're very easy to get. Like the Ravagers, and I'll put the stats up here in case you're interested. But taming these is pretty easy. You just have to kite it. They're very slow. The only pain is that when they start running away, you think they're torpor, but they're not. The big thing is you just want to keep them out of the water. And this was the best one I could find at the time. I couldn't find anything higher. Then I did find a moss chops, which also had a baby with it, which is why I tamed it. Not sure where that other one is. I think it's definitely fully grown by now. But yeah, they are mate boosted, and I figure we can use the eggs later on. And so we found this one, I believe it was 135. And they're pretty easy to tame. They're passive tames. You just have to have the resources that they want at the time, which I did happen to have it. But these will be good for gathering mushrooms and fiber and even some wood. And then last we got this parasaur, which was, I believe, like a 135 when we got it. So it definitely was an improvement to the one that we lost. And I'm not going to really go out that far with this thing until I actually get some bred ones up. But it is a female, and we could get eggs from it. We just probably need to get a Oviraptor first, and then we can start getting some eggs from these things. And the moss chops as well. We do have a female moss chops, and we can get the eggs from that one as well. And then we get some kibble, and then we can also do some other things with that. And one last thing I wanted to mention, just in case you didn't know, you are not able to breed the aberrants with the non-aberrant versions, so you can't go and get a moss chops from a different map and then breed them with a moss chops that's aberrant. They don't work together. They're really considered 2 different species at that point. So that's going to lead us to today's episode, which is going to be to finish up the base, but we do need to get another tame for that, and I would love to get something like a roll rat, because I really need to get the wood farming going. And I was using the stego, which is not terrible. Like, they do have like a mode where they can actually get the wood, and it's like this orange one. And yeah, it's the hardened mode. So when we swing at a tree with this mode on, it'll give us the wood instead of thatch. But the only problem with that is that this thing is very slow, so trying to get around with it is cumbersome and takes a while. And it was like just a pain to get it to move around and stuff. I was going down at the bottom and trying to farm up there. But if we had a roll rat though, those things are very fast. You can roll around like you do with the Ravagers, and they get a lot of wood. They also have a wood weight reduction, so you can stack the wood pretty high from far away and then bring it all back here. And these things, I think, in my opinion, are the best wood gatherers in the game, purely because of their speed and their weight reduction. So the roll rats can only be tamed by feeding them honey. So we need to go find some bee nests, and we have 2 options there. We can either go catch the bee and create the nest, or we can get a bear and then go just harvest the honey when we find it. So the bear one isn't too bad, but the taming the bee could be a little difficult because we do need to get some Ghilie, and Ghilie requires organic polymer, which requires us to probably kill a Carcanos at this point, or go deep in the blue zone and try to pick those flowers that give organic polymer. But regardless, there are a few things we gotta do, a few steps that we have to take in order to finally get to that roll rat. But I think we might try the bear route, because I think that might be the easier way. And we also have to find some nests, because I haven't seen any nests yet. But I haven't been looking too deeply, so I'll go do that as well. And actually, now that we have a decent amount of metal, we can probably get into the long neck rifle. Yeah, so long neck, and let's go ahead and learn this. So we probably should have a long neck for bear taming, and also make some trank darts. So I have been gathering a little bit of the stuff to make gunpowder with. So you just need charcoal and spark powder, and I've been trying to gather up stuff so that we can make some darts eventually. So for the trank darts, we just need some simple rifle ammo, some narcotics, and lots of metal. So we probably need to get some more wood to fill up the forges. I'll probably should make another forge as well to get the metal going. It really is just a matter of what's the best route to go. But there's multiple ways to get to the roll rats, but they all lead to honey. Alright, so with that said, yeah, that's pretty much the big goals in this episode. I'd like to get roll rats, and if I can, get some better Ravagers. I really want to start breeding those so that I can have some transportation, and also a more stable meat collector will be a good thing to have. At least until we get over until the Spinos. But we'll still be using the Ravagers for collecting materials, which is going to be a pretty big, important job throughout the entirety of the game. And on that topic, we also should set up the zip lines for the metal ones. I think that would be a fun thing to look at, and that'll also help with getting some more metal. Alright, enough talking about this. Let's get ready and head out.
Awesome.
Okay, no luck on finding a bee, but I did get a raptor, and I have 2 raptors and I lost one. So I figured I would just head over this way and try to see if I can find a carcass. And in doing so, I did find a 115 Spino. Then I also did find this other carcass, but it's 120 and I cannot kill this thing. Other than that, there must have been like a crazy battle over here because there's a lot of stuff that's dead on the ground. I'm guessing it was like a bunch of stegos because nothing is eating these things. So I guess the goal would be to find a lower level Carcanos and then try to get some polymer and then make a Ghilie. Then I'll go and look for some more bee nests in a different place. I was looking in the redwoods and I didn't see anything there. Alright, here's some stegos here. That's a 115, okay. It's probably did some damage. So yeah, I'll head down here I guess and then try to find a Carcanos. Alright, I did see a 75 Carcanos. Oh hey, it's fighting. Okay, that's good. If this Paracer can actually kill this thing, that'd be awesome. But I don't think it can. It's got 2 things on it, it's level 50. It can't be picked up either because it's too big. And yeah, there's a Spino behind that. I don't want to go over there to help out. Yeah, not looking too good. Yeah, that's that. Those things are pretty tanky, but they don't deal a ton of damage. Uh-oh. Did it aggro me? Yeah, I can't fight this thing on this mount. Oh, let's go fight the stegos. That might actually work out. Yeah, if we can kill this thing, that'd be great, because then I can make the Ghilie. We should be able to help out, because typically things will attack like stegos and stuff over smaller creatures. I also don't want the stegos to die while I'm fighting and then I get killed. It's starting to bleed though, so I think the stegos will win. I'll just go run back and I can probably help out. That bleed effect does a lot of damage for these big creatures like this. Oh, there we go. Nice. So once they're dead, you can then, I don't know, eat them or use a chainsaw if you have a chainsaw. I think the creature's probably better than my melee right now. Yeah, you do want to getting a lot of organic polymer from these, like I think more than mantises. So let's see, I think I saw 226 polymer pop up. It's actually way more than I would actually need for this. So yeah, I could make a couple of Ghilie suits to be fair, and that should allow us to get a bee if we can find one. Alright, one step closer. Alright, made it back to the base. And let's just grab the stuff that we need, which is fiber, hide, and polymer. We got lots of these ingredients, so we could probably make multiple sets. Let's get all this. Alright. So yeah, we can use Ghilie for a couple of things, besides the bees, at least. I think we need some for the Gigantoraptors. I did see a Gigantoraptor earlier. And yeah, looks like we can make multiple sets here. Also, the green zone climate is hot. Like, it's never cold, really. So we could just wear Ghilie as our normal clothing. You know what, I could probably make some cryopods. But can we make them in the battery chargers? Well, let's go see. Let's see if we can make these in here. That'd be nice if you could. If not, that's fine. I don't know if they actually changed it since they added in the ability to transfer. Nope, you can't make them in here, I guess. So what we need to do is we need to go to a drop and make the cryopods. Which we have plenty of drops around us. We just need to wait for one to spawn in. It isn't that big of a deal. I don't really need to store dinos just yet. I don't have any power to store them with. Yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll just go and try to find the bees. And then if I do find a drop, I'll just make some at the drop. That should be pretty simple. If I go taming, then I can at least cryopod things up and then bring them back with me. Alright, so yeah, I was out looking for beehives, and I did run across this thing, and it's a aberrant Gigantoraptor. So it's pretty nice. I saw one before, but I was running for my life, and now I get to show you this one. It's got some really nice markings on it. So it does open a door for a lot of things. These do float, so you can move around pretty quickly. And I mean, of course, they have the egg abilities where you can hatch eggs. So I'm definitely gonna have to get this one for sure. I think we need Spino eggs at the very minimum, but it does make me prioritize Oviraptor, so I might go look for that pretty soon. So yeah, I'm still gonna look for bee nests, and I know in the other maps that I went to, bee nests never really spawned in during the first few days on the server, so I'll have to figure that out and see if I could find out a way to get them in here. Maybe what to kill, and hopefully they start spawning in. Oh yeah, if you want to know where they are, this is where I am on the map. So they seem to be spawning between the river and the lake, but I'm sure they spawn like all around the river and stuff. That's considered like jungle or whatever. But yeah, looking forward to taming one of these. They are super fast, and I wonder if they are radiation immune. That'd be pretty nice. Alright, back, and still no bees, but I did find a 90 Ravager, and also a male Ravager, which is level 40. And I wanted the male specifically because it can now be bred. And yeah, this wasn't a hard tame at all. I mean, you just got both into the trap, and that's pretty much it. Just knock them out from range, and you're good to go. But I didn't want to grab them just because I want to start breeding some. I want to have actually bred ones and not tamed ones, so I can go out and be more risky. Because right now I don't have any way to replenish the Ravagers that I have, so this will help out a lot. So I need to feed these things. I did find a baby Carno somewhere. I should need to go grab it. Oh, there it is. This place was like a feeding ground for these two Ravagers. There was so many herbivores up here. They were just killing stuff left and right. It's another baby. It's a baby Ravager. But I did go pretty far looking for these bees, and I think I'm like, what, 3,000 meters away, roughly? I'm almost on the opposite end of the map, so I was going to loop back around and go through the redwoods again. But then I saw these and I figured, you know what, I'll just grab these while I can. And like on every map, you just have a dino that you are really hard to find high level ones for, and so I think for me it's going to be Ravagers probably. Just like I think it took me about a month to find an actual good fairy on the island. So yeah, this should tame up pretty quick with a prime meat, but I'm going to go and try to find a battery charging station, because we can send these into the terminal and then we can download them at our base. So I think this will be quicker to do if I just upload these into the terminal and upload my character into the terminal and then download them all at the base after I die, then trying to run back 3,000 meters with Ravagers. That's probably not going to work out too well in the end. Alright, we got ourselves a battery charging station. I do have this one here that's in a cryopod. We can throw this out, and we can also throw out the bulb dog. Then we can upload everything and also my gear. But I just wanted to show you this feature, I guess, if you want to call it that, because now you can just send stuff back to a nearby charging station. Like, let's say if you're in the red zone and you find a charging station. I don't know if there's red zone charging stations. If you're by the Rockwell terminal and you're in the red zone and you have like a bunch of black pearls, you can just upload it to the Rockwell terminal and then go back to your base and get those black pearls out of it. So that might be a easy way to transfer stuff instead of having to run it back up through the red zone and then back over to the blue zone and then back up to the green zone. That's a long trip to make back with a ton of weight on black pearls. But yeah, if you're on a cluster, and I believe if you're on single player, you can still do this. Yeah, a single player you should be able to do this, because single player you can transfer stuff in between servers as well. The only time you might not be able to do this is if they turned off this feature on Aberration for the first month of official servers, which if you're watching this within the first month, then that feature is probably turned off. But you might be able to just still transfer this stuff and download it to Aberration. That wasn't too bad. I just punched a Carno after I uploaded everything, and yeah, it was pretty quick. So here I am, going to get my stuff from the nearby charging station. So this is what it would look like if you're going to be doing this same process. Just go through the whole process for you, and once you upload everything, die, make sure everything was uploaded, then you come back over here and then you can download stuff from this station or any station that you're close to. Now that I think about it, whenever you do upload a creature, the saddle remains behind, so you have to pick up the saddle and then put it into the terminal separately from the creature. And so I left that saddle back at the other charging station. So, oh well, it was just a primitive one, so it's not that big of a deal. But just a reminder for you, if you have a really good saddle, you definitely want to check the bag that your creature leaves behind when you upload it. Other than that though, I didn't have any luck on the bees, so I kind of started this episode with the idea of getting a roll rat within the entire episode, and like that'd be the main priority, but I don't think it's going to happen, so I think I'm going to switch gears and go for, let's see, breeding Ravagers and also setting up the blue zone zip lines so that we can get to the metal. And the last thing I want to probably do is go and get a Oviraptor. And I have a pretty good idea of how to do that without needing a bunch of eggs. So we'll do that here in a moment. But yeah, let's go breed some Ravagers and get that started and then set up the zip lines. I think that's probably the bigger thing. Alright, so really quick, I just wanted to show you the stats for the Ravager, and just so you can see like what the best one is, and the level 90 that we found was the best one. We can use those stats as our base, and then if you want to breed things, you have to turn on mating for the male and the female of the same species, and that's pretty much it. And while those are going, I'm probably going to also do that for the bulb dogs as well. And yeah, here's the stats for the best bulb dog that we have. Like an imprinted bulb dog is probably much better than a non-imprinted one. Yeah, these are both mammals, so we should have some time before they actually have their babies. And we could do other things in the meantime. And now we can go ahead and go to the corner over here, which is where the blue zone starts. And we'll start running those lines across. Yeah, I want to warn you, if this is the first time you're coming over to this part, there could be a rock drake spawned up here, or even just on the other side of this hill. So, just fair warning, you might be attacked. But that is kind of a rare thing, so hopefully you can get to this spot before anything spawns in. That's going to be dangerous. But yeah, once you come over here, you can, at the very least, you can put some foundations up here. And this will prevent any spawns, so you're not going to have to deal with rock drakes in the future, or anything like Arthro or something like that. That's going to cause problems. So anywhere up here, just throw some foundations down. So yeah, I'm going to use this one as a anchor point. And you could just put down a foundation and stick some stone walls, or metal, probably better when you get to that point. And then the walls will be considered an anchor point whenever you are trying to connect to different places. It makes it easier to find a line, and it also makes it easier to, when you come back up the line, it'll stop you from running off the line and into something dangerous or falling off a cliff. So let's work on that. So the first zip line is going to be from this tree down here up to this wall, and this is going to connect those two spots. It's not necessary to do this, but it just makes it easier to get up and down. Alright, so we got one side on the tree, and then just need to connect to the wall, and we're done with this part. Now we have a clear line for our Ravager to go down. So I did notice that if you do have a steep angle, when you're going down and you turn around to go back up, you could fall off during that point. So you probably want to keep the angles fairly small. It doesn't be very small, but at least something like this size is probably okay to do. So let's head down to this tree, and we're gonna go from the tree to another spot. And then yes, if you do fall, it's most likely you will die down there. So very risky to do this at this point. So to minimize the risk of falling off, you can put a foundation down on top of the anchor, and this will help with anything trying to attack you. If something attacks you up here, they will hit the stone instead of the edge of the anchor point. And then it also lets you smoothly walk off of the line instead of having to jump. Yeah, you can put more foundations down here as well. I just didn't bring enough for that, but I'll probably come back here and add some more foundations in the future. And now we have a direct path back up to the green zone. Okay, let's be careful and jump off. And then, yeah, this is the hard part. So we have to connect from this tree all the way to that tree. Look, I'm getting pushed. Oh yeah, I think I'm getting pushed by its head. It wouldn't try to look at me. Okay, yeah. So for this tree, you can't really go to the main section because it's too far. So instead you have to go to the closest spot, which is right here. Because it's pretty far away, you have to aim a little higher than normal. Then hopefully it falls down in the right spot. Okay, looks like it connected. Let's see, where did it hit at? It doesn't look like it's high enough. So then, now we connect to this tree. Probably put it back here somewhere. Can't go here. Yeah, up here's probably fine. Okay. Now for the truly scary part. Especially if you're afraid of heights. You hop on this. You're going to jump forward a little bit, which is normal. As long as you don't move forward anymore. So once you hop on, you can slowly walk down here. Do not press any other button other than forward. Alright, so once you're this far out, you can now switch over and start building a foundation. And this is primarily to support your animal so that you don't have to jump off of this line. The goal is just to walk off the line, not jump at all. And once you have a foundation, you can put some ceilings around it to make it easier. Now we could just walk right off. Alright, easy enough. So this is probably the worst thing, is just going back and forth this spot. You might be able to get up there if you wanted to, I'm not sure. But ultimately, you could just build some platforms. So the cliff platforms will snap to these trees, like certain spots in these trees. But you would probably be safer to do that. Now that we're here, we can go all the way across. So, still want to be careful. And I guess if there's an earthquake, you probably don't want to be moving around. And now it's just like a slow walk over to the mining area. So you can put some more foundations down here and kind of make like a walkway if you wanted to. Like a wider walkway. And also put some like ramps and stuff if you wanted to. Those are things that you can work on eventually. But yeah, this is it. Just gonna walk to the cliffs now. And take it slow and you'll be fine. Then up here is where all the resources are. And you will have access to metal and wood and all that stuff. And you should need a light pit in here. I don't think I've ever seen a nameless spawn up here. But I guess it's always possible, so you can bring one just in case. I think there's like some kind of coding where they don't spawn this high on the blue zone. And all these rocks that you see up here are going to be for metal. And a pickaxe is kind of bad, but if you have an Anki up here, it's going to be much better for metal. And there's quite a few rocks up here, so you can hit all of them up and then bring over your Ravager, fill them up, and then walk back across the lines. That's pretty much it. I just want to put any structures up here just in case you block spawns. Yeah, it's kind of dark over here too. So as far as what does spawn up here, I think the only thing I've ever seen is a Arthro. And some other like non-aggressive stuff might spawn up here as well. You could potentially get a rock drake that spawns up here, or at least walks up the walls up here. But yeah, all the rocks up here will give you metal, and you can get a pretty good Anki over here and just park it. And you can mount the obsidian as well, and that'll also give you metal. And you can see all the number of rocks that we have. It's just quite a bit. Okay, so I'm gonna fill this guy up, and then we'll head on back. And so the next thing I want to do before the episode ends is I do want to go and find a Oviraptor with a baby. And so we can pretty much get a free Oviraptor by just getting rid of the parent and then having the baby to be claimed, and we don't have to deal with the taming of an Oviraptor, which requires some eggs. So it does make taming a lot easier for those things. So I'll go drop this stuff off, and then I'll try to find one, so we're not spending a lot of time just wandering around. And once we do find one, then I'll talk about taming one. Alright, so I did find a Oviraptor with a baby. And you can tell that it has a baby even before you get near it because it will be aggressive to other creatures. That's the only time I ever see these things of being aggressive is when they do have a baby with them. Yeah, so this is level 95, which is pretty good actually. This would have taken a lot of eggs to tame up. So then we just gotta take out the parent and then we should be good. Do not want to hit a stego, that'd be bad. Alright, good. So now we can just go find the baby, which actually is probably harder than it sounds. I'm not seeing any movement. That's crazy. You know, we're actually next to our base, so let's go grab this parasaur. I think that should help out. We can just try to ping around for it. Okay, let's go ahead and hopefully it's still around. I don't think they would despawn unless we like de-render it, which I don't believe we went far enough to do that. So the Oviraptors do return as a enemy, so you can definitely ping them, and even the babies will ping. Alright, yeah, there it is. Let's see if we can get it now. They're like so small, it's hard to hit them. Alright, there we go, finally. So yeah, that's the easy way to tame a Oviraptor. And now we get to have some eggs that we can harvest from the moss chops and the parasaurs. And any other future creatures that we get. So yeah, that should be it for this episode. I'm not going to do anything else. I think I've kind of drugged this one out as long as possible. Yeah, I wish I got a roll rat and I wish I got honey, but couldn't find the bees for the honey, and so I couldn't get the roll rat. But we did at least build a base, and we did get some other important tames and some upgrades. So I think all in all, that should be a pretty good step towards progress on the map. So we are on our way to at least the blue zone next. That should be coming up pretty soon. I'm gonna try to work on some metal now that we have that set up. And I'll probably scout out and try to find some bee nests in between episodes just to see if I can get anything to spawn. I have a suspicion that it's kind of tied to the yeetlings that are spawning, because there's so many yearling spawns right now. I wonder if it's like thalicolios and only one of those can spawn at one time, so you either get yearling or you get a bee, and right now we're just getting a ton of yearlings, so I'm going to try to kill those as well. But that's going to be it for this episode. I thank you for watching, I appreciate the support, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.